Hey everybody, Stepgun here. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so you guys can see when I'm posting a new video. Today we're going to be reviewing the Ruger Wrangler single action, a cowboy action gun. That's right, a 22 long rifle. Let's take a look. Alright everybody, that's right, it is the Ruger Wrangler 22. I got the bronze Cerakote because, man, I thought this thing looked pretty, I thought this thing actually looks really nice, to be honest with you. It's like a, kind of a newer thing, you know, everybody's going to the Cerakote now, but I think this gun looks really well. I want to give a big shout out, you know, before we begin, to Arsenal Arms down here in South Florida. They are always taking care of me and, you know, everything I need for shooting, and also a big shout out to Henry's Gun Range down here in South Florida as well for allowing me to go shoot and film out there as well. But yeah, guys, so Ruger introduced this thing and it just took off. I mean, it is cheap. You know, I think I paid $197 for this gun, and it's a fun toy. Okay, for 22, I mean, you can get the whole varmint side of things. You can get, you know, the let's see, like plinking and then target shooting and, you know, different aspects of it. But for just going out and doing some plain old plinking, this thing right here is so much fun. I actually did a shooting video, I'll put a link down below as well, on this gun, you know, just actually yesterday. I haven't even given it a bath yet, and for those of you not know what that means, I haven't given it a good cleaning yet. And it performed perfectly fine. You know, I probably put 100 rounds through it, and, you know, single action in 100 rounds, that takes a while to get through all those rounds, but it performed flawlessly. And actually, you know, one thing for those of you getting into single action, you'll see is, I'll move it where you can see a little better here. These sights right here on a single action, sometimes they don't tend to be very accurate, but these sights right here, they're actually, they're pretty spot on. I'm not gonna lie. I was able to hit some steel with it, and it was able to hold a good grouping as well. So really good shout out there for these sights on this gun. And the trigger felt really well. I mean, the grips, I ordered some aftermarket grips on here, but the screw I had was too short because they were too wide. So I put the original grips back on here, and to be honest with you, I'm going to leave them on here because they feel perfectly fine, okay? And for those of you who don't know how a single action works, okay, and maybe you want to buy this gun, but, you know, you don't really know how the single action world goes, or is it, do you just pull the trigger like any other revolver? Well, no, okay? But it's very easy to figure out, and I will explain it to you, okay? So a way a single action works, okay, is, you know, you got your flap here, your door, if you will, and you load in one bullet at a time. Okay, as you can see here, all right, when you handle another single action revolver, once you open this gate here, you would have to pull the revolver back, okay? You have to pull the hammer back, excuse me. And when you pull that hammer back, it releases the cylinder, okay? And you're able to spin the cylinder. You'll hear it click every time you spin the cylinder. Kind of like the Colt single actions. If you start doing some research on them, you know, you got the detent here, and then you pull back, and then you'll go click, click, click. Well, Ruger, what they did is, which I think is super awesome, you open the side gate here, and look, it spins freely. So whenever you get done shooting and you want to reload this thing, okay, you open this gate, all right, you got your bullets in here, so you push them down, push them through there, you know, push them through there, just like so, right? and that's how you load it, okay? Then you close this side gate right here, and all you have to do to shoot the gun, obviously you can't pull the trigger, okay? You pull the hammer all the way back, okay? As you can see the cylinder rotate, and the cylinder locks up good and tight there, as you can see as well. And then you just pull the trigger. And that's how you shoot it. And every time you pull it back, you can see it open back up, and you pull the trigger. So what single action is, for those of you that have revolvers, okay, or for those of you that may have a semi-automatic handgun that is a double action, single action, you've never really understood it, that's what it is, okay? Like a Colt 1911 is a single action gun, believe it or not, because when you rack the slide back, the hammer stays down. And every time you shoot, you know, the firing pin, you know, hits the bullet, moves it, and the slide comes back and puts it back in single action. A revolver, every time you shoot it, you're pulling the trigger, but to put the next round in there into where that forcing cone is and spin the cylinder is when you pull this hammer back like so, okay? Now, as you see here, I'm not letting this hammer go, and this is a word of advice I'll give to all you guys. Some of you guys can do it, but I don't do it to my guns because I take care of them, and that is any 22, you don't really want to dry fire a 22. For any reason you need to do it, I mean, you can do it, but a 22 is a rim fire bullet, okay? And what that means when I say rim fire bullet is that when that firing pin, you know, unlike any other bullet, hits the primer that's in the center of a bullet, a rim fire, if this is your cartridge here, that firing pin is going to hit the rim of the bullet, okay? And what happens over time when you dry fire and dry fire and dry fire, these little firing pins in here, they do what we call crystallize, okay? And when that firing pin crystallizes, it doesn't have that continuity of impact every time you pull a trigger, and it wears itself out over time. And when you do that, those little 22 bullets that have that rim fire, it can cause it not to activate the primer inside of those bullets and cause the bullet not to ignite and not to shoot, okay? So basically, long story short, don't dry fire a 22, all right? But once you finish shooting this gun, okay, so you'll shoot, you know, 6 rounds. This is your 6th gun, you know, your cowboy action, if you will, that's right. What you'll do is you'll line it up here, all right? And if you guys ever seen any John Wayne movies or cowboy movies, you know, you got it right here. This is your ejector spring, okay? And what this does is to get the bullets out, because sometimes they'll stick in there. You know, it's not Hollywood. I just didn't get in a gunfight at the OK Corral with Billy the Kid. And I'm not going to be able to use my speed reload perk in Call of Duty, all right? For those of you younger generation people that don't really know much about these guns. So what it is, all right, you line it up here, all right, and you're going to take that spring that I'm doing with this index finger of mine, right? And you push that tab through. As you can see, it comes out. And guess what that does? It gets those casings out just like so. You get them stuck in there, you just run it through, and that's how that works, guys. Super, super easy, okay? As you can see, I'll get a little closer up right there. Comes through, push it, boom. You can see the spring is right here, okay? And that's how you unload it, and then obviously, you know, if you wanted to reload the gun again, then you just take and you start putting your bullets back in here, and boom, you're done. Easy peasy. Another really cool thing about single action revolvers, and something that everybody should do that owns a gun, guys, is learn how to take your gun apart, okay? And when I say take your gun apart too, you know, when you guys, you know, start seeing more and more videos I do, that's not field stripping your gun. There's a lot of guys on YouTube say, hey, this is a disassembly of a gun, and they take the slide off, okay? When I talk about taking a gun apart, sometimes I'm talking about taking your grips out, okay? Taking your pins out sometimes after 1,000 rounds, and just look, make sure there's nothing cracking there, nothing's gunky in there. Those of you new to guns, new gun owners, have a really big tendency to over lubricate a firearm, okay? And a lot of these guys on YouTube, it really irritates me, and they get out and they put these videos on YouTube for other people to see, and they say, hey, I just bought this gun and it shoots so bad, oh my God, I put 50 rounds through it. And then you see them in the middle of you know, another video, and they have their lubrication and they're like this, lubricating the gun. All right, you don't want to do that, because when you do that and you over lubricate a firearm, that lubrication comes down in here, comes down into these springs down in here, comes down in these pins, goes down into the gun, and over time when you're shooting, okay, that powder and residue coming off of those bullets comes down into here, okay, and it'll gunk up over time. It'll get dirt on it. And that's even if you don't even never drop your gun in the dirt or you're in a dusty environment. So I recommend taking your gun completely apart, all right? And with this gun, you know, we'll do a complete disassembly at some point, but to field strip this gun, if you will, and a quick disassemble, it's super easy, all right? Obviously, you would check to make sure the gun's unloaded. You spin it around, you get your 6 cylinders, all right? Now, once you're sure that, you know, there's nothing in here, now it's very simple. All you do now is you see this little tab right here, this little pin. If you start looking at older videos on YouTube or start looking at Colt single actions, you'll see people, they got screwdriver marks and stuff because it can be very aggravating to get this cylinder out of the gun. Guys, look how easy this is. You push this tab down right here, this pin slides right out. Oh my goodness. Look how easy that is. I didn't have to push nothing. I didn't have to pry anything, and it fell right out. Like I said, guys, I haven't cleaned this gun because I just got back, and my little kids and wife, you know, you guys know how it is. If you don't have kids, just wait till you get them there. And that's it. To take it out and clean it, that's all you do. And it drops right out, as you can see right there. And the good thing about that cylinder dropping out like that, guys, is you're able to, you know, you can get you a patch and get in there and clean all these cylinders out. You can clean your cylinder as well. A lot of people like to keep the front of a cylinder clean, especially on like older Smith & Wessons and old revolvers. You know, you have the access here to get all that clean. And then you can get inside of here. This right here is your forcing cone. For those of you who don't know what the forcing cone is, this right here is where this cylinder lines up in there and where your bullet goes through the barrel, obviously. So it's very imperative to make sure you keep this clean, because if this area starts getting really dirty, you can start causing some issues. And as well back here, you know, you want to wipe all this stuff out. Keep everything clean in here. And you don't really want to over lubricate the gun, as I was saying, because if you can see now with the cylinder out what I'm talking about, when you start looking inside of here, when you start dumping oil and stuff, that stuff goes in here, you know, and over time gravity pulls it down, guys, and that oil sinks in here, and whatever dirt and cruds inside of here, that oil, it's going to stick right to it. But yeah, that's the disassembly, and to reassemble it is very hard though, okay? I want to be honest with you guys. Not many people can do it, you know what I mean? But I'm just messing with you guys. Look how easy this is. Put your cylinder in there, line it up, okay? You can see this hole right here lines up where the pin goes through, right inside of there. Then you just push down on this tab again. There you go. Close the sighting gate, test fire, and that's it, guys. The Ruger Wrangler and 22 long rifle, a fun, and not only fun, but super easy gun to maintain, take care of, and shoot some awesomely cheap 22 long rifle. The Ruger Wrangler and 22 long rifle, the cowboy action, single action revolver that is just meant to have fun. Hey guys, I really appreciate you watching this review on this Ruger Wrangler. That's right, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. This gun it's a lot of fun. You know, I'll put the link below to the shooting video I did with this same gun. And you know, it's a good gun to add to the collection. And if you guys want to start a gun collection, if you don't like it now, you will eventually pick up single action, cowboy action revolvers, because it's history and it's fun. It's 22 long rifles, so it's cheap. You don't have to break the bank every time you want to shoot it. But that's right, guys, the 22 Ruger Wrangler. Until next time, guys, step gun out.